Hey guys, how y'all doing? Let me know if you can hear me. Check, check, yeah. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Sweet. All right, let's get to it. So I got a chart up of SPX right now. Don't know if you guys, so we're below drunken to the range. First off, if you guys didn't watch our pre-market prep, like you can go do that on YouTube. We did a live this morning that we do most mornings. So I'm not really going to go through all of it. Or if you guys are in the Discord, obviously we have the big long write up there as well. Key things to know, looking at the structure today, right? Downside 63.80 was bottom of our drunken sailor range. So below there, looking to see a move towards 63.50. That was the pre-market prep at least. Something I want to note right now is just looking at the intraday volume analysis. I mean, very choppy action in terms of put and call speculation. So while we are below the drunken sailor range, we're not really seeing a big push from either side of the market right now, right? Like if we were going to continue to melt down, we would want to see, put action that we saw yesterday at the open and all day 2 days ago, where it's, speculation moving to the downside, right? Because price follows where transactions are transacting. So if we're not getting, material speculation lower, likely not going to go there, right? The centroids lines of best fit are kind of pointing to being converging, which is just choppy price action, which it has been range bound all day, right? So something to keep in mind there. Further, looking at market trend model, fairly muted action, right? Starting to get a little bit more selling coming into the market here the last hour or whatever. So just something to keep in mind there. Really, I mean, it's just kind of been tricky day just in terms of the chop. So, for those directional traders out there, maybe taking a few paper cuts. So, just don't try to force it. If the price action isn't there, then it's not there. So what else? Yeah, I don't really have a ton else to say there at the moment. That's just kind of is what it is right now. Looking at RSP. Yeah, I mean, that's just the equal weight, right? It's kind of lower the range, but it's just chopping around more or less. What else do we got? Yeah, I mean, we're below the opening print, below 63.80, so like the bias is lower, right? Market trend model is moving lower, but we're just not seeing that put speculation just continue to open lower, so kind of hard for it to go there. Just expect kind of meandering around the range that it's established, more or less. What else? I guess just looking at some individual stocks, right? Key thing that we noted in the pre-market for individual stocks is most of the Mag 7 key components of the market were below their their zero gex levels and their P-trans levels, right? Zero gex is kind of that fulcrum in the structure between call and put speculation, and then P-trans is above P-trans. You have a solid bullish foundation underneath you. And so most Mag 7 stocks, right, and bullish foundation are above P-trans. Right now they're all below P-trans and a lot are below zero gex. So that's just kind of situational awareness, right? Just understanding how those large components, if the structures are eroding in terms of call speculation, transitioning to put speculation, which is what we're seeing in the SPXP complex right now. So just all things to be aware of. Just going through some more, right? I think NVIDIA is like the only one that was above N-trans, right? Or its P-trans level. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, Amazon below zero gex, Google flirting with P-trans level. So, I mean, just a magnetic level all day there. Meta, I mean, melting down. Tesla, seeing multiple rejections in the pre-market prior day. Zero gex melting down. Palantir just flirting right. I mean, just glued to its P-trans level right now. Hood, just no man's land. Coin. yeah, just sitting kind of right of its key downside levels. So yeah, just all things to be aware of there. Don't have a ton else to say really, just kind of quick blast at you guys of what we're looking at, what we're monitoring, kind of our thoughts on why price is doing what it's doing. So if you guys have any specific questions, let me know. If not, we can keep it short and sweet there. The other thing to note here is this is our net stat chart, which is if you're familiar with 3D representations, this is just a summary of those because looking at 3D models can be a bit overwhelming if you're not used to it. And so, right, we just have the key Greeks here, obviously delta B most important, then charm, gamma, vana. Remember, gamma only matters if spot price is moving. So if spot price is not moving, gamma is not really relevant. So charm is kind of the big thing that we look at day to day. Then when volatility is rearing its head, vana is obviously important as well. Big thing about charm right now is that it's pressing down on the market. You can see, the puts are outweighing the calls on below spot price. So those in the money puts are just kind of a anchor on the weight on the or a paperweight on the market right now. Yeah, John can say there is useful strategy hedge fund. That's why we created it. So yeah, again, not a ton else to say here. Yeah, drunken Taylor range, just making sure that we're staying clear of transacting in that range is super helpful. As you can see, when we've been within the range today, just been a lot of choppy price action. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so not a ton else really to say right now. Obviously, would like to see these lows taken out if we're going to progress towards 63.50. But yeah, just very choppy again. Single stocks, just caution is advised here. That's what we've been saying. If we've had just kind of a slow bleed in our market trend model, short-term trend flipped back on. This was, I think, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. So last Friday is when that shifted, and then it's really just kind of getting progressively worse throughout the remainder of the week so far today. But just more or less a sideways consolidation day. So come tomorrow, or so come some big push in the afternoon, we could be above the longer term moving average ribbon. All is right in the world. We're putting on our 100% systematic strategy is back firing. So that's why it pays to keep your head on a swivel, because the market can change quickly. Last thing, if for those folks that are new, not familiar with what we do, kind of may sound foreign to you, gamedge.us, go to free courses, GameEdge FastPass. We've written 20 plus blogs this year on our strategy, methodology, all the tools, how to use them, everything at paid member gifts, and we've packaged it up in the GameEdge FastPass, free to you. So just sign up for that. You'll get the whole email sequence of how to go through the course, things to keep in mind, all that good stuff. So just free resource if you're interested in kind of options markets. Keep in mind, you don't have to trade options to use this stuff, but what you should understand is that the growth in the options market is having an influence on the markets today that it used to not have. So it's understanding what's happening there, how people are positioned, how that positioning is changing, could then influence if you're just trading stock or whatever, you're trading futures, right? So would just encourage you to open your mind to possibilities of that. Looks like we're making an attempt to take out the local lows here. So if we get that, I would expect to try and make a move to 63.50. So yeah, the thing to note here is, yes, the lines of best fit are trending this way, but what's important to note is like what's been happening recently, right? So it's information when the centroids are trending above or below their lines of best fit. So this lines of best fit means if everything continues to happen, what has happened from the open until that point in time. So if the speculators continue to speculate, then that's the projected path. However, if in the short term speculators are starting to speculate more downside, that's going to bring the rate of changes lower. So again, that's something important to understand there. So yeah, not sure if you guys have any other questions, or maybe your silence means you guys are just super confused. I'm not sure. It's understandable. Well, yeah, Mr. Hedge Fund, I know it's understandable for you, but we've had 20 other people on here, so I just want to make sure they get it as well. If they don't, feel free to ask questions. Obviously, I know YouTube Live is not the best form because you got to type your question in. It's a little bit of delayed, but yeah, Sherman pin projection. I mean, right now, I don't love this lower action we're seeing. The risk here is, yes, while this is suggesting a pinning action into the close, you can't really, you got to consider what price action is doing right now. So like if we were to fail to go lower here and we were to start to make our way back up, then yes, I think that's completely reasonable. But if we start to push to make lower lows, then not super keen on a pin, especially if we start to see downward momentum in the market trend model and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's kind of tricky right now in my opinion, just because the market is kind of just undergoing at least a short-term shift, and puts starting to come in, and we know puts dominating the market just becomes a lot more volatile. So yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't have a ton else. I mean, I can just sit here in silence for a little bit, and we can just go from there. Or if you guys have questions, go from there. Kind of set our bit right now. So it looks like short-term trend is certainly moving lower. Yeah, market trend model. Let's just see if we can do a little dual screen action here for a minute. Bang. So here we got the market trend model. Right here, got price action. Yep, nasty for sure. See if we get down to 63, 63.50. That'd be nice. Yeah, so just looking at this is an alternative presentation of the web app, right? 0DT, right? 63.50. I mean, this is just a massive level here, so keep that in mind if we do get down there. Potential for some monetization. taking a look at the other indices, right? SPY, failure to go higher above 0 gex multiple times. Intrans value as well. Flirting down with, negative gex, COTMP level. Remember, COTMP is just a key level where the out of the money and in the money puts start to get aligned, or kind of an equilibrium there. So kind of the risk is a monetization event there. And if we break below the COTMP level, then that's kind of key information as well. Looking at the Qs, again, not able to break above 0 gex all day in the pre-market. And looking at IWM, kind of at a key inflection point at its negative trans level right now. So the risk of breaking out of the transition zone to the downside. Give me 1 second. Someone's calling. All right, I'm back. Yeah, COTMP, that is calculated throughout the session. Keep in mind, I just have a static script on. Yeah, I just have static script on, so this is from the pre-market. But, those beginning of day COTMP levels based off the beginning of day structure we find to be good and hold true throughout the session. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, at 63.50. I mean, I'm certainly not shorting the hole there at 63.50. I'd be taking shorts off at 63.50. Larkson, yeah, at 63.50, like if there's evidence that we're like finding stability there and there's like a super low risk entry to where I'm risking, maybe a couple points on riding it back up to 63.80, yeah, why not, take a stab long there. But if the market trend model is like continuing to melt down, then that would be less inclined, because that means some serious selling's coming into the market. Doo-doo. Yeah, so starting to make our way down to 63.50. Market trend model, the filter tick has started to tick down ever so slightly, but it's something to keep in mind that it's starting to tick down. So maybe we have a little bit of wave of incoming selling coming. So just caution there. Yeah, I would not, Sherman, I would never say there's no chance of price going anywhere. I mean, yes, like we're not going to 65,000 today, but 63.50 we certainly could. We're at 63.55. We absolutely could break below 63.50. So, all right, guys, I got to roll. Been on here for 25 minutes. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, we do these intraday streams, trying to be more intentional with it. We've done it every day this week, so we're gonna keep trying and doing it more. As you can appreciate, though, our time is gonna be spent in the Discord with folks that are in there. You know, they've expressed the interest of learning this stuff, unlocking it, and there to help them. So appreciate the time. We will talk to you all later. Thank you. Bye.